The film begins with a narrator speaking about a universe that is known to possess both rewards and powers. There are heroes and their wonders. But what about the darkness within it? In this dark world, monsters are hunted and slaughtered by numerous hunters. Among these hunters, only the Bloodstone family stands out as superior in their hunting abilities. Its leader, Ulysses Bloodstone, has long wielded a powerful relic known as the Bloodstone, a stone with incredible supernatural powers. Ulysses used this Bloodstone as his primary weapon in his relentless pursuit of monsters. However, the time has now come for the stone to find a new master, as Ulysses Bloodstone has passed away, leaving behind his powerful relic. Thus, hunters from all across the world have been summoned to Ulysses' estate to compete in a competition. The prize? The coveted Bloodstone itself. The scene shifts to a man named Jack Russell, who appears to have just arrived at the estate. Jack, unlike the other hunters, is not actually a hunter at all. He is merely posing as one, concealing his true motives for being there. His presence at Ulysses' estate has a very different purpose, unrelated to the competition that is about to unfold. Upon his arrival, Jack encounters several other hunters. The atmosphere at Ulysses' estate is eerie and unsettling, with various monstrous heads mounted on the walls as trophies, a testament to Ulysses' many victories in his monster hunts. At the same time, we see a servant calling for a woman who is revealed to be Verussa, Ulysses' second wife. The servant informs Verussa that Elsa Bloodstone, Ulysses' daughter from his first marriage, has arrived. It quickly becomes apparent that Verussa harbors a deep resentment towards her stepdaughter. Elsa had left her father and the family behind 20 years ago, and her sudden return has not been welcomed by Verussa. Elsa, however, has come back for a very specific reason. She believes she has the right to inherit her father's Bloodstone, and she intends to compete for it. Shortly afterward, the competition is officially opened by Verussa. She orders her servant to open a coffin, revealing the body of Ulysses Bloodstone himself. In an unexpected turn of events, Ulysses' corpse begins to speak, his voice coming from beyond the grave. He declares that it is time to select a new leader to continue the battle against the monsters. The competition will involve the hunters having to track down and kill a monster that has already been prepared for them. Whoever survives and kills this monster will be awarded the Bloodstone. Verussa makes it clear that while Elsa might have been born with a right to the Bloodstone, her long absence has stripped her of that claim. If she wishes to inherit the Bloodstone, she must now fight for it like everyone else. The competition begins with each hunter drawing lots to determine the order in which they will enter the maze where the monster has been hidden. Jack is chosen to go in first. As he enters the maze, the sound of the monster's roar can be heard echoing throughout the estate. Verussa reveals that the Bloodstone has been affixed to the body of the monster, and the hunters must retrieve it by killing the beast. The hunters are also permitted to attack one another during the competition. Jack, followed closely by the other hunters, begins to move cautiously through the maze. Everyone is on edge, wary of potential attacks not only from the monster, but from their fellow hunters. However, unlike the others, Jack has a completely different objective. His mission is not to win the Bloodstone, but something far more personal. The first person Jack encounters inside the maze is Elsa. He suggests that they leave each other alone and refrain from fighting. Elsa, confused by Jack's approach, reminds him that this is not how the competition is supposed to work. Suddenly, they are attacked from behind by Jovan, who is wielding a large axe. Elsa is forced to engage in battle with Jovan, but she manages to defeat him, disarming him and taking his axe before fleeing the scene. Elsewhere in the maze, Elsa is tracking the monster's footprints when she narrowly avoids being hit by an arrow. She quickly realizes that the arrow was fired by Simon, one of the other hunters. A fierce fight ensues between them, with Elsa ultimately emerging victorious by shooting Simon with an arrow of her own. She then resumes her pursuit of the monster, but before long she encounters Jovan again. Although they do not engage in another fight, Jovan retrieves his axe and departs. The scene shifts back to Jack, who is searching for something, or rather someone. It becomes clear that Jack's true goal is to find his friend, the monster Ted. Jack eventually reunites with Ted and is overjoyed to see him. Jack promises to help Ted escape by setting a bomb on the estate's walls. However, their conversation is overheard by Azrael, who quickly approaches them. Jack, realizing he has been discovered, flees with Azrael in pursuit. He runs until he finds a door, which he quickly closes behind him. Unfortunately, he is now trapped inside a room with Elsa. Elsa warns Jack not to close the door, as it will lock them inside. Jack, however, ignores her warning and shuts the door, sealing them both inside the room. Noticing that Elsa is injured, Jack offers to help treat her wounds. Though Elsa initially refuses his help, she eventually relents, allowing Jack to tend to her injuries. As they talk, Elsa asks Jack why he is competing for the Bloodstone. Jack reveals that he has no interest in the Bloodstone itself. His only goal is to save his friend Ted. Jack proposes that they work together to achieve their goals. After a long conversation about their respective families, Elsa recalls her aunt, Frances Bloodstone. She opens her aunt's coffin and finds a key inside, which they use to escape the room. Once they are free, Jack proceeds to plant the bomb, while Elsa goes to retrieve Ted. Before they part ways, Jack advises Elsa to treat Ted like a friend and call him by name if they encounter him. Meanwhile, Jovan stumbles upon Ted hiding in the bushes. Just as Jovan prepares to attack, Elsa appears and points her weapon at him. At that moment, Ted bursts out of hiding and attacks Jovan, burning him alive with his fiery hands. Seeing this, Elsa, initially frightened, remembers Jack's advice and calls Ted by his name. Ted calms down, and Elsa tells him that Jack is waiting for him. Meanwhile, Jack finds a cracked wall and throws a bomb at it. After 2 failed attempts, the 3rd bomb finally detonates. Elsa and Ted arrive at Jack's location just in time. As Ted escapes into the forest, Elsa pulls the Bloodstone from his body, freeing him. Jack, happy to see Ted safe, attempts to pick up the Bloodstone but is violently repelled by its power. Verussa and the other hunters, witnessing this, realize that Jack is actually a monster. Jack and Elsa are promptly captured and imprisoned. In the prison cell, Jack awakens and apologizes to Elsa for not telling her the truth about his identity. Elsa, frustrated, expresses her disappointment that Jack did not trust her. As they talk, the sound of a door opening indicates that Verussa and her men are approaching. Jack begins sniffing Elsa, attempting to memorize her scent. He needs to remember her scent so that he won't harm her when he transforms into a monster. Jack pleads with Verussa not to force him to transform, warning that once he turns into a monster, he will become a mindless killing machine. Verussa, however, ignores his pleas and begins to recite a spell. The Bloodstone emits a powerful red light, which engulfs Jack. He tries to resist the transformation, but he eventually succumbs, turning into the ferocious werewolf. As Jack transforms, Verussa and her followers are shocked by his monstrous form. Jack, now fully transformed, goes on a violent rampage, breaking out of the iron cage and attacking Verussa's men. Elsa joins the fight, helping Jack by taking on the other hunters. Together, they manage to defeat their enemies. Then Jack tries to escape through a door, but it is locked. Verussa uses the Bloodstone to attack Jack, weakening him. Just when it seems like Jack is about to be defeated, Elsa intervenes and attacks Verussa from behind. Seeing Jack in pain, Elsa rushes to his side. However, Jack, still in his monstrous form, leaps at her, seemingly intent on attacking her. But as he sniffs her, he recognizes her scent and stops himself from attacking. Jack then flees the scene. Verussa, enraged, tries to shoot Elsa, but before she can pull the trigger, Ted appears and burns Verussa to death. Ted then asks Elsa where Jack went. Elsa tells him that Jack escaped through the door. "He went that way," she says. With the competition over, Elsa becomes the new master of the Bloodstone. The room's color changes to signify her new status. The film ends with Jack, now back in his human form, waking up in the forest with Ted by his side. The two friends share a moment of relief and the film concludes. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.